Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, government agencies to release recommended measures to address the impact of the El Nino phenomenon in the country. Over 500,000 customers of Maynilad brace for daily water service interruptions. Beginning Wednesday, Maynilad spokesperson Jen Rufo joins us in the program. And later, we also find out the preparations of Manila Water to ensure water supply as the operating level in Angat Dam dips further. Manila Water spokesperson Jeric Sevilla tells us more later in the show. The newly created Water Board and government agencies are set to present their recommendation this week on how the country can address the effects of the El Nino phenomenon. To fix the water crisis, President Bongbong Marcos said the country has to convert its water usage from groundwater or wells to transfer extraction to surface water. The chief executive also announced he is tapping former Public Works Secretary Rogelio Babe Singson for his expertise on water management to help in the contingency plan. Also, hundreds of thousands of Maynilad customers from 6 Metro Manila cities will be affected by daily water service interruption that begins tomorrow. But Maynilad stresses that the move is necessary to replenish supply amid the decreasing water level in Angat Dam. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have Maynilad spokesperson Jen Rufo. Jen, good day. Welcome to the source.
Hello, good morning, Pinky. Good morning to all of the listeners and viewers.
Okay, so 591,000 households, according to Mr. Padua during the press conference yesterday, of Maynilad will experience water interruptions starting tomorrow, Wednesday. That begins at 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Tell us, Jen, what is the reason for this water service interruption?
Yes, well, the NWRB decided to reduce the allocation the moment that the water level in Angat Dam goes below 180 meters. So they have implemented this as of 6 a.m. last Saturday, and so we are now constrained to manage the limited resource because at 48 cubic meters per second, Maynilad is actually getting less volume of raw water that it needs to sustain service levels in our concession area. So we now have to stretch it to more customers so that we can mitigate the effect of this reduced allocation. Thankfully, because we now have our supply augmentation projects, we were able to generate more supply, so we can now limit the interruptions to nighttime hours.
Yeah, siguro, Jen, the question would be, why are there going to be service interruption for Maynilad customers and not Manila Water when both Maynilad and Manila Water are affected by this drop in allocation from 50 cubic meters per second to 48 cubic meters per second na nanggagaling naman po because of the lowering of the operating level in Angat Dam?
Well, there are actually 3 reasons, Pinky. First is the pipe network of Maynilad is older. We inherited the older section of the pipe network from the government. And if you recall, Maynilad came from bankruptcy. The previous owners could not invest in the pipe network, and so it was only in 2007 when we were able to invest major capital expenditure project to improve the water infrastructure. And secondly, the other concession area has more groundwater resources. So Manila Water can open more deep wells during times of contingency like this, unlike in our concession area, which is near Manila Bay. So a lot of the groundwater resources here are already salty from intrusion from the sea. And then last reason is because, last is because there's more flexibility as far as the other concession area is concerned because they can use La Mesa Dam.
You can't use La Mesa Dam.
They have exclusive use of La Mesa Dam, yes.
I see. So La Mesa is exclusively for Manila Water.
That's correct.
All right. So, siguro to simplify it, para po maintindihan natin ng mabuti, Maynilad came in after its supposed, bankruptcy in 2017. Tama ho ba?
Well, if you recall, Ms. Pinky, from 97 to 2006, Maynilad was under previous owners.
Yes.
And during that time, they were hit by the Asian financial crisis.
Right.
So within those 10 years, they could not invest in the pipe network.
The improvements really began in 2017. So does that mean that yung improvements came a little bit late?
That's correct.
Okay.
So in that case, the other concessionaire is 10 years ahead.
So Manila Water is 10 years ahead. I guess that makes it just simpler. And then the pipes are older.
That's correct. We even have some portions before that were placed as back in the Spanish times.
Okay, that must be very difficult. All right, I just wanted to lay the groundwork, no, because a lot of people are saying, ang swerte naman ng Manila Water customers, wala silang service interruption. Bakit kaming Maynilad palagi na lang may service water interruption? All right, so now that we know the reasons, siguro the question is, Jen, didn't Maynilad prepare for this, considering that a lot of it really hinges on the operating level of Angat Dam, and then Pag-asa already months ago saying that we will be expecting El Nino?
I mentioned earlier that we have several supply augmentation projects, and these are already on stream. A lot of it is already generating additional supply, and that's really the main reason why we are now able to isolate the interruptions to nighttime hours. In effect, it already managed to mitigate the effect, but having said that, the allocation reduction is still below what we require, despite the fact that we are now able to generate additional supply. So unavoidable, but at the same time, we were able to mitigate through our supply augmentation project.
So your supply augmentation measures did not mitigate the problem fully?
The generated supply is not enough to cover up for the shortfall from Angat Dam. That's correct.
I guess what my question, Jen, is if you were to, rely on the allocated water from Angat Dam, which the NWRB looks into, no? Whether is it 50 cubic meters per second, it went up to 52, and then it went back to 50, and then now it's at 48. Wasn't additional augmentation measures necessary so that any movement in the operating level of Angat Dam would hardly have an effect on the service, the water that you service to the households of Maynilad?
That's correct, Ms. Pinky, and that is what we have been endeavoring to do, which is why we have been facilitating these projects. But of course, a drastic reduction in allocation is still going to be felt in our case. So at the best scenario is we were able to do this, isolate the nighttime interruptions, and then we are continuing to facilitate other projects as they come on stream. The interruption schedule will actually be shorter as the months come along.
I think it was Mr. Padua during yesterday's press conference when he said that this is going to be better than the water service interruptions experienced by Maynilad customers back in 2019, because he was saying back then it was day and night, whereas now it will only be from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m.
That's correct.
Okay, so that is, I guess, the reason, because of the augmentation measures, that the daytime water service interruption actually won't happen. Ms. Jen, also, yung pong 7 p.m. to 4 a.m., can that still be extended? Because I know that it's, of course, Malabon, Valenzuela, Navotas, Manila, Quezon City. I'm sorry, I'm missing another city here. There are 6 cities that will be affected, no? Households in 6 cities.
Well, in some portions, it's actually up to 6 a.m., but these are fewer. And it's only because we factored in the time that it will take for the pressure to build up in the network before it can actually reach the fringe portions of the distribution system.
Yeah, parang yung baka daw yung mga mas matataas at mas malalayo, that might be extended yung 4 a.m. to maybe 6 a.m.?
That's correct. In fact, some of the schedules that we posted on our social media accounts, some portions will extend up to 6 a.m.
Okay.
But in general, it's going to be up to 4 a.m.
That 591,000 households, do you expect that to further increase?
No. In fact, the schedule that we posted assumes a worst-case scenario already, which means that the actual experience should be shorter than announced.
Okay. So ito na po yung worst case scenario.
Yes.
All right. And then what kind of assistance is going to be given to the public or the households that you service?
Okay. Well, we actually have mobile tankers that are on standby, ready for deployment as needed. But of course, we advise our customers to just plan for the schedule in their homes,
Opo.
store water in advance so that they don't have to rely on the mobile tankers because we would rather dedicate the tankers to assist medical institutions.
Okay. So, but I also wanted to ask Ms. Jen, so what if, I spoke to NWRB yesterday and the operating level in Angat continues to drop. So if this further drops, according to NWRB, they might reassess in a week's time on the water allocation. Again, so just so we have this clear, NWRB decides the water allocation, passes it on to the MWSS, and the MWSS passes it on to both concessionaires. Now, I hope I got that right. In the event, though, that the possibility of lowering the allocation of 48 cubic meters per second, that is further lowered. Is that something Maynilad is prepared for?
Well, yes, we are constantly coordinating with NWRB and all of the other Angat Dam stakeholders. So we will be flagged if that decision will be arrived at. But of course, we will try as much as we can to manage the effect of any further reductions in the allocation.
Yeah.
Again, yes.
I guess, Ms. Jen, what I'm asking is, let's say from 48, for example, ibaba po nila sa 47 cubic meters per second. Are you looking at still the same scenario? 591,000 households, water interruption from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m.? Or do you think madadagdagan ito ng households or hahabaan po yung water interruption hours?
It's possible, Ms. Pinky, but because we have other supply augmentation projects that are in the developing stage, as they come in, the most that we will target is that we won't have to change these off-peak interruptions anymore.
All right. Okay. So how long is this supposed to last, this water service interruption for Maynilad customers?
Well, this is going to stay on until such time as the allocation will be adjusted. But having said that, again, this is a worst-case scenario, meaning as we are able to generate more supply from the augmentation projects, the scheduled interruption actual experience will be shorter than announced.
And then there was an advice by Mr. Padua yesterday. I remember you might want to repeat it, Ms. Jen, to the customers of Maynilad. Basically, he was saying, if you're going to, kung mag-iimbak sila ng tubig, just have enough for what is needed, because he said, we assure you that the water will be back as scheduled from over 7 a.m., after 7 a.m. rather, to hanggang gabi po.
Tama yun, Ms. Pinky, because there's a tendency for some people to panic and overstore water,
Opo.
and that could impact their water bill. So it's actually advisable for them to just store enough for the hours of the day where their service will not be available. Because yes, the following day, the supply will return anyway. So don't overstore.
Okay, store enough, just enough, or save just enough. Maynilad spokesperson Jen Rufo. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, let's now speak to Manila Water spokesperson Jeric Sevilla. Jeric, good to see you again. Welcome back to The Source.
Hi, good morning, Pinky, and good morning, everyone.
So we found out a while ago the difference, between Maynilad and Manila Water, but I saw that Manila Water will also have a service interruption. I think it began yesterday up until Thursday. Please tell us more about this.
Well, the water interruptions really are part of the regular and preventive maintenance. What we did was we released the schedule of our maintenance activities for this week. No, so normally the maintenance activities start 10 in the evening to about 4 in the morning the following day. So this is due to line meter maintenance. So we have to declog our lines to ensure that the lines are working so that the pressure remains the same. So this is just for a short period, no, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And then after that, then supply is back to normal.
And this is for all of the pipes that you need to, parang kailangan linisin. Ganun po ba yun? Kailangan linisin para po mag-flow yung tubig ng tama.
Tinitingnan natin kung merong mga clogging, kung may mga bara, no? So this is really part of the regular maintenance activities, no? So we do this every day, no, in different barangays, in different locations. So
You do this every day?
for tonight are really some barangays in Quezon City, and then for tomorrow evening, some barangays in Rizal. No?
I see.
Part of the usual regular and preventive maintenance.
And this is done every day, huh? As you were saying a while ago?
Oh, well, one time, no? Ibig sabihin, araw-araw meron tayong mga maintenance activities in different barangays.
Apo.
In different barangays.
Palipat-lipat po, in other words.
Yeah, it's not a daily rotational interruption, so to speak.
Tell us, Jeric, why is Manila Water not affected by the lowering of the allocation to 48 cubic meters per second? Because this has affected and will affect rather the customers of Maynilad.
Oh, well, I think number one is that we are able to really maximize the allocation that's given to us, no? Largely because number one, our system losses, no, our non-revenue water is actually below 15%, no. So ibig sabihin nito, yung tubig talagang napupunta doon sa mga customers natin and not lost through leaks and illegal connections, no. This has been Manila Water's thrust since 1997. So we replaced more than 5,000 kilometers of lines to ensure that leaks are removed and the illegal connections are eradicated. No? So that is one. No? Second, even during the height of the pandemic, I think Manila Water was working round the clock still to ensure that the additional sources and augmentation projects would be completed. No? For example, we already finished our Cardona water treatment plant, which has a capacity of around 110 million liters of water per day. We've completed the Marikina portable treatment plant capable of producing 15 to 20 MLD. We finished also a number of deep wells, and in total, we can provide 100 million liters of water per day coming from deep wells. No, thanks to NWRB and MWSS for allowing us to do so. And then we finished phase one of Calawi's water treatment. So this is going to get water from Wawa in Antipolo. That's additional 30 million liters of water per day, plus another project which is going to draw water from the eastern flank of Laguna. That's East Bay, no, capable of 50 cubic meters of water per day, plus water efficiency programs within our treatment plants that generate additional 30 million liters of water per day. So all in all, this is about 300 million liters of water per day, such that even with the lower allocation, we are able to compensate that lowering of allocation with the augmentation sources to keep 24/7 to our customers.
How many millions of liters per day do the households or those you service consume? Yung pong sa Manila Water.
Sa Manila Water, it varies, no? That's about 1,500 million liters of water per day. Sometimes it peaks to about 1,600 or 1,630 million liters of water per day. No, summer is usually your peak, no, where demand really increases by about 10 or even 15%. Tapos
Yeah.
nagte-taper na siya as the temperature gets colder or during the
Got it.
monsoon
Pero
season.
Jeric,
But on
on
the average,
average, yeah, on average.
on average, it's about 1,500 or 1,550 million liters of water per day
I'm sorry, can you
demand
I'm
for the
sorry, can you repeat that?
That's 1,550 thousand, no? 1,550 million liters of water per day. 1.5, 1,550 million liters of water per day, sorry.
It's
So
quite,
that's about 1.5 billion, no? 1.5 billion liters of
yeah,
water per day.
it's actually hard to grasp the kind of water
Right, right.
consumption
Oo.
ng inyong mga customers. It was just really out of curiosity. Anyway, Jeric, I just need to take a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Manila Water spokesperson Jeric Sevilla. You know, Jeric, I remember a time, I don't know, it was just probably a couple of months ago when Manila Water and Maynilad, or rather, when Manila Water was sharing with Maynilad its allocation from the MWSS. If I'm not mistaken, that was a time that you were allocated 52 cubic meters per second. I know now it's down to 48 cubic meters per second, but is that still a possibility to share with Maynilad?
Well, it's a possibility, Pinky. No, I think the main condition is that so long as the customers or the requirements of the customers of Manila Water or the East Zone is not jeopardized, then we do. No, in fact, to date, no, we are still sharing through our cross border flows, no, treated water going to Maynilad. No? So we know how important water is, and as much as we can, no, we would want to help Maynilad as much as possible. As I said, without jeopardizing
Yeah.
the needs or the requirements of our customers.
So there is such a thing right now. So you're still sharing water with them. You said that it is the right term, that cross-border.
Cross-border, there are two ways to share. No? One is at the portal where raw water is actually being split, no, from Maynilad and Manila Water. So that's what happened when the allocation was increased to 52 cubic meters per second. So from 50 to 52, the additional 2 cubic meters per second, Manila Water did not get any share for that additional 2 cubic meters per second as an assistance to Maynilad. So that's one. The second one is the inside the distribution network or the treated water already.
Okay.
There are, I think, about 4 or 5 points within Manila Water that we allow water to go through the Maynilad network
I
as
see.
part of our sharing scheme.
Jeric, what happens if Angat level continues to drop? For example, the NWRB orders the lowering of the allocation of 48 cubic meters per second.
Well, for Manila Water, well, we continue to work with them in so far as developments are concerned. But for Manila Water, of course, the last recourse would be to implement water interruptions. But we're still looking at, for example, maybe reducing the pressure, but still maintaining 24/7, so that people continues to still have water, albeit at a lower pressure. No? So these are the things that we're looking at. No, we're still currently simulating our network. How far, no, can we provide 24/7? But measures are in place. You can do a reduction in pressure. You can do off-peak interruptions later on. Depends on if the augmentation sources of Manila Water will no longer be sufficient. But right now, no, with the projects I mentioned to you, that's all in all an additional 300 million liters of water per day. No? So we hope that these sources will be enough to compensate for the lowering of the Angat level to maintain the 24/7.
Yeah, but if it lowers it to, let's say, 47 or 46 cubic meters per second, what will happen?
Well, a possibility would be 24/7, but reduced pressure.
Okay. All right.
but reduce pressure.
And all the other mitigating measures that you were saying, ano, pwedeng at night, pwedeng
and then-
magpatupad din ng...
Yeah, and put in place no, kasi some of the supply augmentation projects are not being used yet. No, like for example, yung deep wells. No, the maximum that we can draw here is about 118 million liters of water per day, but currently we're only using about 50.
Oh, that's less than half.
So that's 50. So kung medyo wala pa sa kalahati, no?
Opo.
So yung Calawis water treatment plant natin that's scalable up to 80. We're using right now an average production of about 32. So depends, no? Depends, no? Kung bababa pa yung level, then i-mobilize natin lahat.
Got it.
Pwede natin na additional supply.
Kumbaga, meron pa kayo naka-reserve na pwedeng itap?
Yes, because this is what we did over the past years. Talagang magtapos ng mga projects so that there will be reserves, no, so that in case na kailangan talaga, then
You can tap
meron
those.
tayo na additional sources of water that we can use.
Manila Water spokesperson Jeric Sevilla, sir, thank you also for your time.
Thank you, Pinky. Morning, everyone.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.